All right, so I got to ask you, does size matter? But we're talking about shotguns. The Stoeger Uplander with a 26-inch barrel, or the Stoeger Coach with a 20-inch barrel. Both of these are in 20 gauge. So we're going to find out if size really matters. Stay with me. Thanks for stopping in while we take a look at a couple of Stoeger shotguns. These are budget shotguns, certainly very affordable. Again, these are both in 20 gauge. Story behind this, this Uplander with a 26-inch barrel, I picked up from a friend of mine. We were having lunch one day, and he had some guns that he'd had around for a while and never used. Said, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of them. He bought this in 1991, and as far as I know, it's never been fired. He said it hadn't been fired. He named a price on it. I was happy with it. No box, no nothing. It's been knocked around the closet just a little bit. There's a couple of nicks on it, but not a big deal. But 20 gauge, it's got a rib on it and a bead front sight. Simple, break open, a double barrel, 2 triggers on it. And I like the dual triggers. Some people like single triggers. I kind of like dual, it's just traditional. And let's see, the right barrel on this, if I remember correctly, is an improved cylinder barrel. These are fixed choke, by the way. There's no, the barrels are fixed. There's no separate choke tubes for them. The left barrel is modified, and we're gonna do some patterning with both today and see where that goes. But that got me interested. Actually, when he told me about the gun, he said he had a Coach gun. Well, because the original paperwork says Uplander Coach gun, so he said it was a Coach gun. Well, we already agreed on the price. I agreed I'd buy it. He brought it in. I looked at it. It's a 26-inch barrel, not a Coach gun. So this is the owner's manual back from 1991. That is the owner's manual. There is not much at all to it. Still got the original sales receipt in here too. So definitely affordable. Now so that got me interested. So I bought the gun. We agreed on a price, paid cash, no big deal. We could do the transfers here in Michigan. It all worked out fine. But it got me thinking, I really wanted a Coach gun. So I did some more looking and found a new Coach gun for around the same price, just a hair more, brand new, with the box, the whole bit, and had to buy it. This is the owner's manual for that. And again, it says Uplander Coach gun. The Uplander is the 26-inch. The Coach gun is the 20-inch. And this is the instruction manual. I'm not quite to the point I need a magnifying glass to read it, but hey, it's getting close. And again, fixed barrels. The right barrel again should be a cylinder bore. Left barrel should be a modified, and you can tell that by, well, pull off the foregrip. I don't know if this will show up in the camera or not. We'll try to get it to show up, but right here there's 3 star markings or asterisk markings on the right barrel here. There are 4. The 4 would indicate basically an open cylinder bore, and the 3 indicates that it is a modified. Well, we're going to try them today. I've got a target set up. You can see it out there. That's a patterning target set up at, it's only set up at 15 yards. Now, when I'm patterning a shotgun for trap work, I'll usually do 40 yards, but this is just to see in general what they'll do. These, well, at least the 20-inch would be more of a home defense type gun, so we're going to see how that compares to the 26. We're going to find out if size really does matter. If you can see it, I've got the new Pro Ears Stealth Elite. They didn't send these to me. I bought these, but I'm trying them out because Pro Ears did send me a couple other sets of hearing protection over the ear that I'm trying out, and that was on their dime. This was on mine, just to see if they work. I don't like shooting shotguns with ear muffs. I've got some different ones that I normally use with my trap gun, and we're going to try these to see if how well they work here with a shotgun. So I'm going to put some ears on, and I'm also going to put a little padding on the shoulder. I got a shoulder injury a while back, so I'm going to pad up a little bit before we shoot this thing, and just to see how it patterns at 15 yards. All right, so we're going to start out with the Uplander with the 26-inch barrel. These are Winchester. Yellow means it's obviously 20 gauge, and these are dove or quail loads. They're 2.5 inch. These guns will take 3-inch shells, but these are only 2.5. No, number 8 shot. So we'll do the first one out of the left-hand barrel, which will be the modified, and we'll do the second shot out of the right-hand barrel. I think that's how it comes out. I'm not sure if I can select triggers on this. I guess I should have found that out. Oh, Sure I can. It's double trigger. Of course, if it was single trigger, I wouldn't have any option on. One other thing about this gun, when you break it open, it automatically puts the Tang safety on. So you got to remember to take the safety off when you're ready to shoot it after you've opened the gun. All right, eye protection. I know there are some YouTube channels with huge subscriber bases where when I shoot a long gun, they don't do eye protection. I'm doing eye protection for everything. We are supposedly influencers. I don't want to influence anybody to shoot anything at any time without eye protection. So again, the left-hand barrel is the more constricted of the two. The right-hand barrel is the more open of the two, but again, modified is not all that constricted. So safety off, target's only at 15 yards, and let's just see how the left-hand barrel does. Long trigger, and that does not feel good on the shoulder. And I didn't have the secondary camera on. All right, we'll turn the secondary camera on and zoom in and see if that'll pick up where that hit. Not seeing much from here, but again, the camera hopefully will pick it up. All right, gun's back on safe. We're gonna go the right barrel this time. Will be the more open of the two barrels, which is a cylinder bore. Long, fairly heavy trigger, and there we go. It does not have ejectors. It only has extractors. It pulls the rounds out just a little bit, so a little smoke comes out the back along with them. This is not my day for filming. I turned the secondary camera on, zoomed it in, but never hit record. All right, so it's on record now, so it'll at least, if all goes well, the secondary camera will pick up what has been shot. And now we're going to put 2 rounds of Winchester. This is number 3 buck. There are 20 pellets in here, and we're going to see how that works out of the same gun on that same target. Then we'll switch targets and try the coach gun. So once again, we're going to go left barrel first, which is the modified. Then we'll go right barrel, which is the cylinder bore. And double check. This time the camera is on. All right. Left barrel. Safety off. Got to remember to take that safety off. A little more kick out of it. All right, right barrel. A little more kick. Not fun on the shoulder, even though it's only 20 gauge. Now, a lot of people will think that a 20 gauge will kick less than a 12 gauge, and yeah, okay, theoretically, it will. However, 20 gauge guns are also a little bit lighter. Now, I didn't weigh these. This is not a heavy gun, but 20 gauge guns are a little lighter than 12. So theoretically, if you have the same shot load, the same weight of shot, these are 7/8 of an ounce, with a lighter gun, you're going to feel the same, at least the same recoil, or maybe even more with a 20. So just having a 20 gauge doesn't necessarily cut it down. All right, I'm going to go change. Actually, no, I'm not going to change targets yet. I'm going to something else I want to shoot out of here. I'm going to put 1 slug on the target. I'm going to use the right-hand barrel. I could shoot the slug out of the modified left-hand barrel, but I'm going to stick to the cylinder bore right hand. These are Tactical Home Defense Reduced Recoil by just a Brenner's USA on the box. Supposedly reduced recoil. Again, 2 3/4 inch shotgun slug. And I'll just put 1 to the right-hand barrel on this and just see how it works here at 15 yards. Right-hand barrel, safety off. Shoulder's definitely feeling it. Try the right trigger. That was the back trigger for the left barrel. And actually, it was less recoil than the double or the number 3 buck. So it's working now. My shoulder surgeon's not going to be real happy with me doing this, but get it out of the way before I ever have to go back and see him again. All right, I'm going to turn the cameras off, change targets, and we'll do it with a coach gun. All right, I don't know how well this camera will pick it up, but a pretty good shot dispersion on this. Everything really is within that circle to get at 15 yards. You can see the larger holes are obviously the number 3 buck, and the 1 slug hole is right above point of aim. Happy with the target. Let's see how the coach gun does. All right, really almost identical guns. The coach gun obviously is 20 inch as opposed to 26. Brand new as opposed to used, so there's no dings yet in the wood finish. Just plain old walnut type stock. It does have some checkering. It's not real aggressive checkering. It's more decorative than anything else. Even a little checkering on the forestock. And again, real easy to take down on both of these. Just pop the forestock off, open up the action, and the gun comes apart for cleaning or transport, whichever you prefer. Snap the barrels back on, put the forestock back on, and we are back in business. Other than that, exact same thing. Again, the action is a little stiffer on this, even though the other one supposedly has not been fired. It's a little stiffer, probably just because it's a newer design, or at least newer manufacturer. All right, dove and quail load. Again, we're going to start with the more restrictive choke. That's the one on the left, and then we'll do the broader choke, the one on the right. So modified barrel left, safety off, and back trigger. There's the left, and the wad went to the right, and now there is the cylinder bore. And again, these are stiff actions. Here we go. And again, no extractors or no ejectors, just extractors. All right, the number 3 buck, Winchester number 3. These are supposedly a 2 3/4 inch shells at 1200 feet per second. It's going to recoil just a little bit more. Again, left barrel first, then the right. And as I expected, it looks like we got more spread on that, as is more visible from here. And finally, we're going to end up with the one tactical reduced recoil home defense slug. Would I use slugs in a home defense in a shotgun? Yeah, I'll probably stick with the buck, number 3 buck. And again, we're going right-hand barrel. That is the cylinder bore. Get the correct trigger this time. Same point of aim. And that shot a little to the left. That could have been me. So does size matter? It all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something that's going to give a reasonable spread at a reasonable distance, again, 15 yards could be typical home defense distance. Either of these shotguns is going to work just as fine. That 6 inches is not going to make a difference. The pattern is obviously going to be a little bigger, at least apparently from here. Looks bigger with the 20-inch barrel. Again, you're responsible for everything that comes out of the barrel of your gun. If you miss with one of your pellets that hits something else that you didn't intend to hit, you're still liable for it. A 20-inch gun is easier to move around. If you're hear that bump in the night and you grab your shotgun, you want to go see what it is, it's easier to walk around, particularly you go around a corner. You don't want to lead with your shotgun barrel, because if the intruders on the other side, they've got they got a handle on your gun, which you really don't want. So again, it's a little easier to move around with the gun down by your side. 26-inch barrel is going to provide just a little tighter pattern, less chance of anything going beyond it. So again, just simple 5 shot out of each gun comparison to find out, does size matter. Depends on what your preferences are. And that's it on 2 Stoeger shotguns, the 20-inch Coach and the 26-inch Uplander. Thanks for stopping in.